Hi guys! Well, we are back, and we are back from our first ever Viking ocean cruise.
We were. That was such a whirlwind of a cruise. I think my feet still hurt.
It was a hot cruise too, wasn't it?
So hot.
It was so hot. So the question really is was it really worth it, and do you get what you pay for?
Yeah, on the surface, it's a very expensive cruise to do, and they're an expensive cruise line. They're certainly one of the most luxurious ones that we've done, I think, to date.
Yeah.
Hopefully not the only luxury one we'll ever do. We would like to do some more if our bank balance allows.
And the other question that we need to ask is, were we too young to be on this cruise?
Yeah, certainly before going on board, I felt that I might actually be the youngest person on this cruise. But if you want to find the answer to those questions, you're just going to have to keep watching.
That's right. So Tristan, tell us about what we did and what got up to in this cruise.
So this was an 8-day or 8-night Adriatic cruise, starting from Athens.
Hang on, that's in the Aegean though, not Adriatic.
Yes, it is in the Aegean. So it was the Aegean, Ionian, and Adriatic, to be very specific. However, it's predominantly the Adriatic, that's why they call it that one. We sailed from Athens to Katakolon, which is for Olympia. That was, I think, possibly the hottest day. I'm not sure, but it was really hot and no shade. We then sailed on to Kotor.
We went to
Corfu.
Corfu first.
Went to Corfu, and then we went on to Kotor, which is known as Europe's most southern fjord.
Yeah.
Which it definitely lives up to that name. And then we went on to Dubrovnik, and that was really stunning. Anyone that loves Game of Thrones, wow.
It's King's Landing.
It really is King's Landing. And we came through Breakwater Bay, so it was quite cool. And then we went on to Split, and we went down to Cetina. Well, yes, it is marine. And we went down the Cetina River, which was really cool. Yeah. And then we went on to sail into Venice, and actually, whilst yes, you cannot dock in Venice very sadly anymore, we were about as close as you can in a place called Fesina.
It's just across from Venice, so you have to get a water taxi.
You are still in the lagoon, unlike a lot of them that go down to Ravenna and are a little bit far out. Or Trieste, which is like on the other side. In fact, I think it's nearly another country.
So let's get back to Viking Cruises. So Viking Cruises has a number of ships. They're all designed pretty much the same.
They are.
And also, it's a cruise that's more, not a boozer's cruise, it's a thinking man's cruise.
Yeah, they tend to say it's a thinking man's cruise or thinking person's cruise, not a drinking person's cruise.
No.
And if you want to know whether we felt it was, you're going to have to wait and see as well. So, I do though have to say, you certainly do not stop on these cruises. There were no sea days, and it was a complete whirlwind of every day something going on. So, if you're looking for a relaxing cruise, you can make it that way.
You can.
But definitely, it's not going to, on the surface, be that way. So, I think it is time for
Roll VT!
먼지투성이 hands are trembling right now. Deep blue water sea, afraid of jumping in right now. 한 발을 내밀었어 걱정이 많이 있어 난 It's a bit of love, yeah. It's a little tough, yeah. 담배를 물고 있어 생각이 너무 깊은 밤 It's looking too deep It's a little rough, yeah. Overthinking if I belong But I'm where I need to be Nobody's stopping us from fly. Don't kill this mood, just singing na 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 na. Won't make it harder for your mind. Just dancing underwater right now. I've been swimming and swimming into the deep end. I've been looking and looking around me lately. I've been falling and rolling, really nothing new. Dancing up to the water right now. Moonlight shimmering, falling over me right now. Yeah, 한숨을 쉬고 있어. 도망을 가고 싶어 난. I'm afraid of all things, and I said it. but I'm where I need to be. Nobody's stopping us from fly. Don't kill this mood, just singing na 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 na. Won't make it harder for your mind. Just dancing underwater right now. I've been swimming and swimming, swimming into the deep end. I've been looking and looking, looking around me lately. I've been falling and rolling, really nothing new. Dancing up to the water right now. Moonlight shimmering, falling over me right now, right now. Yeah, 한숨을 쉬고 있어. 또 마음을 가고 싶어 난. I'm afraid of all things, and I said enough, yeah. Overthinking if I belong, but I'm where I need to be. Nobody's stopping us from fly. Don't kill this mood, just singing na 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 na. Won't make it harder for your mind. Just dancing underwater right now. I've been swimming and swimming, swimming into the deep end. I've been looking and looking, looking around me lately. I've been falling and rolling, really nothing new. Dancing up to the water right now. I've been swimming and swimming, swimming into the deep end. I've been looking and looking, looking around me lately. I've been falling and rolling, really nothing new. Dancing up to the water right now.
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's really hot. It's well hot. Wow, that was an amazing cruise. Viking certainly focus on not only the culture and the history of each port you go to, but also the food is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Before we carry on with our review, I just wanted to take the time to ask if you're really enjoying our content to make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notification, give us a like. All of that just helps us to grow our channel and bring you even more.
It really helps the channel. And if you've been here for a little while and you're thinking, how can I support these guys even more? Please head on over to patreon.com/cruiseboys, where you can sign up and get behind the scenes things, extra stuff that we don't share
Just the
anywhere else,
silliness that
as
we
well
get
as
up to.
early access to great videos like this one.
Yeah, and we've also got a website which is www.cruiseboys.com. There's a bit of content around some of the ports we've been on, some of the cruises that we've been on, and a little bit more coming soon. So with that, let's get on with the review. Embarkation. That's me with my suitcases.
Well, you don't do that on Viking, certainly.
You don't.
So if you book from the UK, your price will generally include your flights from a UK airport. Predominantly they do that from London, they price it, but you can get other airports are available.
Yeah, you also get your
Other airports are available.
available. When you get there, you get transfers included.
Yeah, so your transfers are also included. So once you get to the airport, literally you drop your bags off by the luggage belt with a gentleman.
Yeah.
And then you literally don't see them again really until you get to the ship, which is pretty cool.
It's weird, isn't it?
It was weird. I was going to say, I said pretty cool, but actually, yeah, I agree. It was pretty weird for us. I was like, kept walking around going, where's my bag? Justin, I've forgotten my bag.
What was really good though is that when we got there was representatives the whole time.
Yeah.
So we're in a group of about 20 people and we basically got ferried right from the conveyor belt all the way to the ship. Well, you know what I mean. The luggage belt.
The luggage belt. The conveyor belt. No, it was lovely. And if you are not maybe the most seasoned traveller,
Yeah.
then it is a lovely way to actually ensure that, especially if you're on your own, maybe for the first time, etc., that you are well looked after, and Viking really
look after you
the whole way through.
So I have to say, Tristan, when we first boarded, what was really lovely,
The aircon.
No. The champagne, you know,
Oh,
champagne for all.
The champagne was lovely, lukewarm but lovely. And when I first picked it up, it was about a quarter of a glass, and then the waiter very quickly poured the rest in. So I was like, oh, thank you, lukewarm champagne to watch the muster drill with. So I'm not going to complain really, but the muster drill was mercifully quick, and we were out to see our friends.
Yeah, Bob and Holly from Innocents Abroad. And that's the ship.
There was no fog on this cruise.
No, but there was the horns though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The ship.
The ship.
So essentially all Viking ships are the same ship. You've seen one, you've seen them all pretty much.
Yep.
With the exception of Jupiter, the ship that we were on, and Orion, which have a planetarium in the Explorer's Lounge instead of just having extra seating, I'm assuming, or extra bits and bobs. Someone let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let
below.
us know in the comments if you've been on any of the other ships.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, it's a beautiful ship. Absolutely beautiful. At times, it literally felt like we had our own cruise ship.
as Tristan said before, there's only like, 900 to 1,000 passengers, and the passenger staff ratio is really good. But there were times where we were sitting around, there was no one else around, and we were thinking, is this our ship?
Yeah, they call it the living room, and it literally felt like the living room for us. Although, I think some people maybe took that a little bit too literally. I mean, sorry people, but keep your feet off the furniture.
It's when people took their shoes off and put their feet up on. I was like, you're getting a bit too comfortable, maybe.
Or the lady that walked through in her pyjamas to
Yeah,
get coffee in the morning. I was like, it's not literally your living room and kitchen.
So the design of the ship is very light, very bright. There's a lot of like lighter wood paneling because it's a more of a Nordic feel on the ship, and there is sort of things that nod to the Nordics, like costumes and
So there is a full history part. There's basically a museum on all these ships as well. It does apparently vary between the ships slightly, the things, although apparently it's a blink and you miss it thing. And I had to teach Justin that yes, the Bluetooth symbol is based on
runes.
Nordic runes. So yes, Justin learned something new on this cruise, if nothing else. But the atrium, the atrium is actually really nice. You've got this very grand staircase with the kind of Nordic garden underneath it as well, which is really pretty just to see, and gives you a real nice sense of space and air. They often in the evenings have a really nice pianist and violinist or cellist playing there. And very quickly, one of the things I really liked was that the bar staff very quickly learn exactly what your preferences of drinks, and they will even make suggestions based on what you've had before. Maybe if you're going, maybe I want that, maybe I don't, they'll be like, maybe you'd like this, which is very similar to that, but we'll give you a bit more of this. You're like, ooh. So really good bar staff on board.
Yeah, some of the other places on board which were really nice to visit was like the Explorer's Lounge, where there was like reindeer. What are they called? Pelts.
Skins.
Reindeer skins, yeah. And it must have been the cruise of blankets, because there was a blanket on every chair. I think.
Was. I know that they go to a lot of cold cruises on this, but this was not a cold cruise. So having the blankets was like, this is pretty, but I'm really not going to use it.
Did you not want to just like grab it and just like snuggle up? Because they had the fake fire in there as well.
They did have lots of fake fires around.
And
it was very pretty. And at sunset, the Explorer's Lounge is absolutely stunning.
Some great sunsets there. There was some items that were around that were very interesting, like swords, rusty swords and rusty helmets, and just to give that nice Nordic feel.
I was like, oh, this is really nice. They've got these like original artifacts, and then Holly very nicely pointed out they've got the same artifacts on every cruise ship. And I went, oh, okay, fair enough, they're replicas, fair enough, I know, silly Tristan.
Yeah, it was made in China 5 minutes ago.
No, what maybe.
So one thing that we did notice on this ship, because everything is pretty much included, there was no upsell.
There really isn't any push-up upsell, even on like excursions or anything like that. They really don't push out an upsell on anything. So unfortunately, those that are waiting for an upsell challenge on Viking,
it's not coming.
You're going to be disappointed, but watch this space. I'm sure we'll get it on the next cruise.
The cabin.
Now I've got to say, it was all the little touches in the cabin that really made it.
Oh yes.
Like the little leather sheath that goes on all the handle doors. Instead of being cold metal, you have this nice little leather sheath, which I was like, that's really cute. And one of the best things ever, although we didn't really need it on this cruise, is in the bathroom you can turn on the heated floor. Now, that would be lovely on a cold cruise, and also made it very handy for drying clothes occasionally.
Yeah.
But generally, we didn't particularly need it on this cruise because most days it was about 40 degrees Celsius.
That's true. Talking about heated floors in the bathroom, I was in love with that bathroom. That bathroom is one of the best ones I've been at sea.
And one of the nice things was that a lot of the stuff, although there was tons of storage and shelving, it was all kind of hidden, so the top was always kept clean.
Yep.
And I'm a big one for it. I really don't like clutter.
clutter.
So having it nice and clear was absolutely lovely in the bathroom and just helped it. Also, we noticed every day if you use some of the shampoo or shower gel and you take the one from the shelf, seemingly the next time that your room steward or stewardess comes in, they seem to replace those tubes. So there may have been a few of those came back with us because it's a lovely, lovely smell.
Yeah, our room steward Jackie was amazing. The other thing about the bathroom, sorry, I know I'm just carrying on about the bathroom, but the shower. I mean, come on, the shower was one of the best and biggest I've had.
It is one of the biggest. I'm still torn between whether it was bigger than, say, Celebrity Beyond's shower, because that was a really big shower as well. But the nice thing on this one was the little shelf that had, so you could put all your soaps on, and I think the ladies could use that, or men, to shave their legs. Sorry. I have hairy legs, but I don't shave them, so I don't really think about that. Sadly, it was a little bit too thin to sit on. I did try.
Some of the other nice touches in the room, we had minibar included, so that's one of the things that is included.
That's one important thing to say. If you go for the deluxe veranda like we did, which is one up from, I forget what the basic one, I think premium veranda, you get minibar with soft drinks and snacks every day replenished, which was really nice. So when you get back to your room, a couple of times actually we did this. We had a Diet Coke or Sprite in our room before going out whilst we're kind of freshening up and stuff. So that was really nice.
And they kept bringing us ice.
And they kept bringing us. If you need ice, it's not there on the first day. Just phone, and literally within about 2 minutes, it's there.
They've got ice.
And then they quickly just started replacing it to sort of twice a day. Really, they're replacing the ice. So really nice. Also, another nice touch as well though was, instead of having a sofa, you had two armchairs.
That was
which
nice.
gave you a bit more flexibility, but also meant it was quite comfy. And they all had little throw rug things.
Of course they do.
With.
And the bed was so nice. I like one that's a little bit harder, which this was. It was nice, a bit firmer. Pillows were a bit soft, but still, I never had a bad night's sleep on Viking at all.
And one thing you are not going to struggle for on this ship as well is storage. We had so much storage. Drawers, full hanging space, short hanging space. You really, I don't think, would struggle even on a longer cruise on these ships with where to put your clothes. Yeah. Because there was so much space.
Nice balcony as well.
Yeah, pretty actually. Nice comfy chairs and things to sit on, and proper table. Yeah. That's what I remember as well. Proper table. You could actually have like meal or something on your balcony if you wanted to. Another thing that is included, that's just jog my memory as well. Yeah. Room service. We only discovered this pretty much on the last day.
What's included?
Room service is included in your fare. Obviously, if you don't have a drinks package, we're coming on to that in a minute, then the drinks would be extra. However, for us, if you had the drinks package, they were included. And room service included. So have at it. Why didn't we discover that sooner?
Do you know what I liked though? Going back to the minibar, was the chocolate. Yeah. Oh, yummy, yum, yum.
Sadly, when we got back, Josh found those very fast and ate them, so there's none left.
Yeah. But if you want to see more about the cabin and for a full cabin tour, then click on the link above. This isn't any ordinary food. It's Viking Ocean Cruises food.
This is the Viking burger.
The food.
We'll come on to the Viking burger in a minute. You do not want to miss that. But the food on board this ship, I know it's an important part of everyone's cruise, let's be honest, the food. And Viking definitely did not let down. From the main dining room, where you literally just turned up and you got to see, I thought on the first day, do we need to book and get a certain dining time? No.
Nice,
intimate. You just turn up. Really intimate restaurant. Beautiful service. Got to say, big shout out to Katut, one of the best main dining room waiters I've ever had. Made me chuckle every day, and every time I saw him, he was such a pleasure. And we actually, towards the end of the cruise, were like, can we sit in Katut's section, please? Because he was really good. No offense to all the other waiters, they were superb as well.
Absolutely.
But Katut is on another level. Everyone in with your fare, you will get 2 specialty dining on this as well, which is one in Manfredi's and one at Chef's Table. Now, Manfredi's, for a little random tidbit for you, is actually named after the founder of Silversea.
Yeah, because they're friends.
Because they're actually the original founder of Viking and Silversea are good friends.
Yeah.
So it's actually named after him. But it's an Italian-style restaurant. It's almost actually, they do steaks, and we both had steaks. So we kind of was treated like a steakhouse. And Justin, are you still dreaming about that?
Well,
Viking?
look.
What was it called, your one?
I can't remember that. No, you had the Bistecca.
I had the Viking Bistecca.
And I just...
Did you have the Viking steak, was it
Yeah,
called?
just the Viking steak
Thing.
it was, yeah.
So mine was actually, they're both marinated in various herbs and spices and things for at least 24 hours. I think it's a bit longer than that, actually. And then mine is actually covered in like a truffle powder. So it looks like it's really burnt when it comes to you, but it's not. It's the truffle powder on the outside, and it was to die for. Yours was basically the same marinated without the truffle powder and served on the bone.
Oh, it was nice.
And it was heavenly. I think actually his was better than mine. I did like the Bistecca, but I think yours was one stage better. And one thing you're not going to do on this cruise is ever come out of a restaurant hungry.
No.
We rolled out every night. I had to go for a walk around the promenade deck every night because I was so full.
What about some of the other food venues? So there's the
we,
buffet?
Well, before we go on to this, there's a chef's table, which does change throughout the cruise. There are different nights and different themes for those cruises. So on our one, we had a British theme, and there was also the Asian theme, and there was also more of a like Pan-Asian one.
And a Californian.
Was it California?
Yeah, later on.
But we basically had the Asian one. It's a set course, or kind of like 4-course meal with various bits in between as well for amuse-bouches, etc. It's pretty good. The only thing I would say is that was the only restaurant that they really struggled with our dietary requirements in. She really struggled with the idea that I was allergic to crustaceans.
And I have and I am lactose intolerant.
And therefore she kept trying to tell me that hot and sour soup would not have shrimps in. And I was like, hot and sour soup comes with shrimp in it. So they did manage to do a variation on it, a vegetarian kind of variation with tofu in, and it was lovely. But they really struggled in there with dietary requirements. The only one that did. Yeah. But they did struggle a bit in there. Other dining venues now.
Yes. So,
you have the buffet, which is also called the World Cafe. It is pretty inclusive and pretty good, actually. It basically repeats itself on either side. The only difference is one side has a gelateria on one side of it, and the other side has a pizzeria.
Yeah.
And during dinner times, they also do, like the actual dinner as the evening dinner, there's actually a whole section devoted to fresh sushi every night. So if you're into sushi, you're in luck. And sadly, neither of us particularly eat sushi.
They did have theme nights, like they had an Italian night, they had a surf and turf night, and so they're very flexible.
Yeah, they do a barbecue during the latter part of the 7-day cruise that we were on, and that was basically filet mignon and lobster on the barbecue. That was a very popular evening. And we were downstairs in the restaurant, but it was very popular for most. So it was certainly very good. You've also got the Aquavit Cafe, which serves kind of healthier, lighter bites. It's right by the infinity pool. It's effectively at the back of the buffet. So if you're in the World Cafe buffet, you can literally just go there as well. So it's very easy. You've also got the pool grill.
The Viking.
The Viking
burger.
It's essentially one of the best pool burgers you'll ever get. We've spoken to a few different vloggers that have actually been lucky enough as well to go on Viking.
And they're like, yes.
And the first thing they say when you say the Viking burger, they go, it's amazing. It's essentially a really good burger with cheese, and then you've got this kind of like streaky bacon, but they make it perfectly round.
Yeah.
So it fits the burger, so every mouthful you get a bit of the burger. And then this red onion marmalade on top. Oh, it's heavenly.
Oh gosh, I'm just thinking.
The reason I said cheese is you can get also, there's like another version of it which has a blue cheese in instead of the standard cheese. So that's the main difference.
I was just sitting there like eating it, and it was like, but I didn't care. It was so good.
So good. Also got Manson's, which is up in the Explorers Lounge. During breakfast, they do a really nice, very quiet, intimate breakfast where you can get the pretty much famous Brawnost, which is a kind of...
it's not IKEA for chair.
No, it probably is an IKEA chair, let's be honest. Or table. Maybe it's a table. But it's a sort of kind of like caramelized goat's cheese. I know that sounds really weird that you have that with a waffle, but trust me, once you've had it, it's a Marmite thing, I think. But if you like it, you're going to love it.
And they have really other things with the waffles, like you can have syrup, but berries. Oh my goodness, I ate so many berries on this cruise. Yes. Yum.
Yeah, they do. Manson's is really nice. And during the sort of lunchtime and evenings, they do lighter bites.
Yeah.
In the evening, I noticed quite often it was a platter of like cheese and cold meats and stuff, so you could kind of have that with your drinks. It's quite nice actually.
Yeah.
To do it there.
Down in the living room, you could also have some light bites there as well. So that was like cakes, and in the morning you can have some croissants and things. So there's food there all the time.
One thing we cannot forget, of course, is the winter garden.
So
most of the time, it's a really nice chilled. Excuse the pun, because it is very chill. The aircon is on like crazy, so even though it looks like a glass box, which
chill.
it is, it's very cool. But at 4 o'clock every day, they will serve Viking afternoon tea. It's so lovely. They come with the proper tea stands.
Yeah.
And I did love the fact that our waitress came and she said to us, being British, I assumed that you would like clotted cream. I was like, oh yes.
Not that I can have it.
We don't want whipped cream here, thank you. So we got clotted cream. And the tea selection was superb. It's like a book.
It is like a book of teas. Like someone had said to me, "Oh, the tea selection's massive," and I was just like, "What am I going to have? There's just too many here."
That's the problem. It really is too much.
Too much
To choose
exactly.
from. So yeah, there is no end of amazing food on board of Viking.
Oh, it should be like, ooh, because we're on Viking, so it needs to be a bit more posher. Sorry, drinks.
Pinkies out, people.
The drinks. So, yeah, the drinks on Viking I thought were quite good. So, with Viking, at all your meal times, you're going to get your house wines, beers, and soft drinks. So, you're not going to go without.
And actually, the house wines were pretty good.
Yeah, they were.
They were certainly very drinkable. I would not be knocking them.
No. In our package, though, we got a package where we
so-
had included the silver package. And what was in that?
So basically, your option for drinks is you either have what's included or you buy the silver package. There's no other things. There's no multiple choices. Silver package basically means anytime, whatever you want, you can have. It's up to $18,
which is generous.
Per drink, which is pretty much, I would say, 95 to 99% of the drinks by the glass. Obviously, if you want a bottle of wine, there is a discount. I think it does give you a discount on bottles of wine as well, but predominantly it's by the glass, and there's pretty much nothing really out of limits on that. It comes in at about £20 a day, which actually for a
drinks package
is pretty
good.
I mean, it's for a week you're going to be paying about 140 quid each maximum. So quid being a pound, British on their food. But yeah, it is a pretty good deal actually, and I would say it's well worth it if you want to be able to just drink what you want. Of course, if you go up to the buffet, you can always get a soft drink there. They've got juices, they've got all those sorts of things there anyway, but realistically they would also. One interesting thing, Viking have no limits on what you can bring on board with you. I think if you tried to bring a crate of beer on the
it'd be different.
But basically, if you want to bring a bottle of spirits on with you to drink in your room, or drink a bottle of wine with you and drink it in the restaurant, they are not going to charge you a corkage. There's zero corkage on board. So,
and that's good because, you know, sometimes when you go away on port, you get off at port, you find the local alcohol, you bring it back.
Find the local boozer.
Yeah, they usually like tag it, and then you don't see it until the end of the cruise, or they give you the really, you know, the evil eyes and things like that. You're allowed to take it on board and drink it. They don't care.
They
it's
really
great.
are very loose. I mean, I don't know if I want to push them and try it. But
No.
Certainly, if you want the silver package, it's very inclusive. Otherwise, you're probably pretty sorted anyway on the general.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you could bring on what you want as well.
Oh, I thought the cocktails were great.
Yeah, we'll come on to those. You have to watch the vlog series for those, though.
Actually, it's not like that. It was like...
What, are you using a theremin?
No! The entertainment.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I would say, joking aside, it was actually kind of pretty lacking. They're not big entertainment cruise ships. I have heard that, like Seabourn, if you like the luxury ones, that have pretty good shows, etc. But Viking, the focus is really on port talks and kind of light background music predominantly. I think most exciting show that we had on board was Beatles Night.
But hey, Tristan, every cruise has a bit of Beatles and ABBA. I mean, that's just a staple.
No. ABBA's taking it too modern.
No, there was ABBA though. I did hear it.
There was ABBA, but it was on a cellist playing ABBA. I've never heard this version before, but it was pretty cool.
They also played Metallica on the
They
one.
did.
That was actually quite cool.
The little musician quartets and trios and things that they had throughout the ship at different times in different places were really good. They played a lot of more modern music in a more classical style. So that was quite fun actually, and it was always set at a really nice volume.
Yeah.
So we've been on a few ships lately, Embassy, where they have a nice classical trio, but they're booming out, and you're like, I can't hear you across the table. Here it was always at a nice level that you could have a low-level conversation with someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music was there to give life
Very,
to the space.
very atmospheric though, wasn't it? It was very nice. One place which is more of an upbeat venue is Torshaven.
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 It's the name, I think, of the founder, I'm going to say. Something to do with him, I think. I may have got that wrong. Please let us know in the comments below. But yeah, Torshaven is a nice... We thought it was like, I don't know...
A restaurant or something. It was... Well, I didn't even know how to get in there because there was this big curtain. And it was like...
kind of like you come through looking through the curtain like...
And I thought it was like like a restaurant or something. No one was ever at the table. I thought...
The best description is it's a live lounge kind of place. Although, having said that, the few nights that we spent in there was anything but lively with the guy snoring in the corner.
Yeah.
Literally snoring with his mouth open like... It was kind of funny. Which was kind of sad for the poor performer who was
great,
performing
though.
beautifully.
He was really, really good.
He was really good. He was playing a lot of hits from like Sting and kind of Rod Stewart and things. So it was kind of cool.
They served some alternative cocktails in there as well. Some of them are outside the drinks package, but the majority of them were in the drinks package.
It was a kind of like... I might be wrong on this. Was it a rum bar or cognac or something bar? Something like that, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Like they had an unbelievable amount of different rums and cognacs and stuff. So it was, and brandy. So it was pretty impressive right at the back of the bar there. But yeah, we enjoyed a few cocktails in there and a few nights in there. But yeah, that was about as
pumping as it got on Viking. But it's good, sometimes it's nice to have that nice, relaxing, just chilled out. I thought it was great. The other things that I want to talk about with entertainment is the pools. So there was 2 pools on board.
There are. The hot tub pool, otherwise known as the
Infinity.
Which was like a bath when we got in Qatar. It was so hot.
Burnt ourselves as we went into the pool because all the metal was hot. Boiled in the pool, then got out and were going to go and lie on the sun lounges and went, nah.
No, this is too hot. And then you have an indoor pool as well, which was pretty nice, pretty decent size actually.
Retractable roof.
Retractable roof. It did have it retracted a couple of times. We went through.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a nice pool, popular, and a good few hot tubs as well.
Yeah. Let's get physical.
Well, you can get physical. I'm going to the thermal suite.
It's the gym and spa.
Which, on board Viking cruises, ocean certainly, is included in your fare.
Yeah.
You can go as many times as you like, as often as you like. So you can go every day and spend all day in this thermal suite if you want. And actually, the couple of times we went, it was pretty much, we had it to ourselves.
Empty. Yeah, it was
really
good.
Nice.
It's got all your normal spa stuff, like you've got your bubbly pool.
The hot tub.
The hot tub.
You had your hydrotherapy.
Pool.
You had a steam room and you had an ice room and you had hot beds that weren't the most comfortable hot beds at all. And then you also have saunas which are split into the male and female changing areas. There isn't a kind of like conjoined.
Yeah.
Conjoined? That's not the right word.
No, combined, I suppose.
Combined. Sauna. Although... this sauna suffers the same problem that sadly Queen Anne's did. Check out the review above for that, which is no seals on the blooming door.
Yeah, so all the heat, when you were sitting down the bottom, you could feel the draft coming in, but I had to sit up high, and we were trying to crank it up the whole time. It just wouldn't
the
go
other
hot.
Slight fun thing was they have a really good plunge pool right next to the sauna. Is really ice cold, but then you've got to run quite a long way to get to the hot tub to put in, and my feet literally got into the hot tub and I was like, my legs were tingling. It was like I'd walked through stinging nettles. It was that cold.
I thought my legs turned to logs when I got into that plunge pool. It was freezing, and then Tristan's going, just go in more. And I'm like, no.
You dipped in literally. It was like I'd walked through stinging nettles.
Oh, yeah, it was a bit cold.
But it was lovely, and the spa, although not the most maybe the largest one we've seen, it's certainly up there with one of the top ones we've used.
You can't complain. It was a spa that you could use any time. It was free.
One thing I would say though, the massages and other therapies are very expensive.
Yes.
I don't know why I whispered that. They're very expensive, but they are as in, even compared to other cruise lines, I'm like, cruise lines are expensive. This is like, whoa.
And we did.
They might be very good though.
We did actually make it to the gym. This cruise, we needed to.
It's very popular actually.
It is. It was so popular. There was people in there all the time.
It was a good big gym as well, so it was a nice space and lots of machines to use. So
yeah,
but it was definitely popular. You know, the kids these days won't know that.
No, they won't. We're talking about the internet nap.
Which actually, for us, ran pretty well.
Yeah, it was included, wasn't it?
It is included. Internet. Everyone gets internet included. The app doesn't do the most fancy things, but it
does what it needs to.
Yep. And they basically print every day the same stuff anyway that's in the app. So it's kind of like, if you don't like the app, they've got the printed version. You can use it to book things on board. So if you wanted to go for like a second time or a third time to Manfredi's or to Chef's Table, if they had space, you could book on the app to use those things as well. Yeah. But yeah, the internet generally ran really pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
I don't know if we particularly tried streaming. I think in fact they may actually actively block streaming.
You could still make things like WhatsApp calls on there, and you could still
and you could
do video calls.
Like it would play like a short or a reel, but I don't think it would play stream a whole YouTube video. It would kind of like stop it. So
or upload was an issue. Even though it had a good upload rate, it just the internet like YouTube and that you just couldn't upload to it.
The real exception of this was of course the penultimate day when we were in Venice, when the internet was terrible. And we put this mainly down to the fact that I think about 1,000 people were trying to get their flights checked in for,
or going hotel, or their other plans, because the majority of the people on this cruise were Australians, Americans, and a small contingent of us.
And if you don't have a smartphone these days, Viking still do have an internet cafe.
Yes, they do.
And the number of people we could hear in there going, Doris, how do I print? How do I print me boarding pass? This is new. Do they print it at the airport for me? There was some funny moments sat in the living room that day, and I'm not being mean. It was just really quite comical to hear. I felt a bit sorry for the guest services right next door to the internet cafe because they were constantly getting called over. I think I've logged in, but I've put the wrong details in.
One good thing, and I know it goes back to the cabin, but one good piece of kit was actually what they call Whisperers?
Quiet Vox.
Yeah,
Quiet Vox.
Yeah,
Quiet Vox. It is Whisper Sunline's called. Yeah. They're basically on a lot of excursions you go on, you put the earpiece in and therefore you can hear the tour guide from a distance as you're walking around, so you don't have to be right near her. They're not going to have to shout as well, which meant it much nicer.
So they're in your room all the time. You just took them out every day because every excursion, every day you could do an excursion. Yeah. So
well, it would tell you as well on the excursion if it had QV next to it, you need to bring your Quiet Vox, and they would always remind you. They always tested them in the port before you left as well. Yes. So if there was any issues, the ship would also be able to sort those out. So they were very conscious on making sure that everything went smoothly for you.
Yeah. It's a final countdown.
Final thoughts.
You're supposed to say do. Anyway.
Sorry.
It's the final thoughts. So, Tristan.
I said that bit already.
Viking.
It's certainly, on the surface, on the initial price point, comes out and looks very expensive.
But
however, when you bear in mind that price that they're quoting you, certainly from the UK, is including your flights to and from, your gratuities, your excursion in every port, we'll come on to those in a second, your
drinks at
transfers, your drinks with your meals, 2 specialty dinings as well as at least a veranda cabin, because they do not do anything below a balcony.
No.
Actually, when you start to break it down like that, that's not a terrible price for some of these cruises.
I think this is one of the first cruises we came off, and you sort of have onboard account, and you're like, there's actually not much to pay.
My onboard account is basically zero.
Zero. So that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was zero. So we did say, obviously, excursions, we did talk about there. Excursions, you will get an included excursion in each port. That typically is a walking tour, bus tour. Let's be honest, they're not the most imaginative of excursions.
But they're okay.
They're okay. They're very informative. And if you just want a little bit of get out for a bit, see the port area, see the town that you're in, and then come back to the ship, they're perfectly fine. If you do want a more in-depth excursion, they will cost extra. they're not terribly priced, I would say, compared to some other ones.
No.
I think some of the ones that we did were maybe £60-70 each, which
Oh,
actually, compared to some cruise lines, that's pretty good pricing.
Yeah.
One thing I would say though, none of them, they're all cultural or historical based, or like, so they're about the food in the area. And things.
So you're not
going to get whitewater
lining.
rafting or zip lining. There's none of the more highly energetic ones or silly type things or anything like that. So if you're looking for something like that, you may have to book that yourself directly and just go as a self excursion, which then kind of maybe you could also tie that with the inbuilt excursion, the included excursion. One other thing with the included excursions, if you do pay for a more enhanced excursion, quite often they'll wrap in a walking tour as part of that as well. So you'll do the extra bit, plus then you're finished with that, or vice versa. So you don't necessarily miss out, but that does mean you are off the ship for a lot longer.
So what about the payment options? Because it's like, because you are paying, or you're front loading as I call it, how does it sort of all work?
Yeah, so from the UK, it's pretty standard. They do ask for a 25% deposit up front, typically. That is higher than some. Yes, you're not going to find the £50 per person deposits. No. But they will sometimes reduce that if you need to, or they'll do deals at certain times of the year. But typically, it's a 25% deposit up front, with then the final payment due about 10 weeks before you sail, which is pretty standard in the UK. The real kind of snafu, if you like, one comes from if you are a first-time Viking cruiser from the US, and I think this also goes for other countries as well, outside of Europe. You will have to actually pay 100% up front. That does not matter, even if you're booking for a 3-year in the future cruise, you will pay 100% up front. That's pretty standard for Viking. We actually got this from our future cruise consultant on board. He actually mentioned that to us, and we were like, that's really steep if you're not. And he was like, it is. It does put people off. However, once you have cruised and sailed with Viking, they will often revert you down to the better deal, so the more 25% future, 25% deposit, than 10 weeks before.
I understand,
but it isn't definitely. That would be a bit of a stopper, I think, for some
I understand
people.
with the UK, with the 25%, because they've got to book flights, or they've got to reserve the flight. So that's generally, most of the time, why they will have a higher.
You can take as well, I think on all options, there is always the option to take out what they call Viking Air, which is the flights included, etc. However, having done that, I think then from the UK, it's then, well, yes, I might save maybe £50 or so. But then actually, for the ease of everything,
I'd just rather pay for it.
It might be easier to do it that way.
The other thing I want to mention, if you're a solo cruiser, unfortunately, they don't do supplements for solo cruisers. So if you are a solo cruiser, you're going to end up paying basically for 2 people.
There are no discounts. So the cabin costs what the cabin costs. If you're splitting it between 2 people, it's say £5,000. If you're a solo traveller, it's not like they're going to reduce it down to say £3,000. It's £5,000. You're paying effectively the price of 2 people. So that could be a real put off, I think. And it's almost never heard of that they will do a discount for solos.
I mean, this cruise was one where, we are into our culture and our history. And so for us, also, sometimes when we go on a cruise, depending on who we're going with and what who we're cruising with, the cruise is always going to be a bit different for us. This, I thought, was really good cruise for us to sort of step back to actually really enjoy and relax the cruise. We actually got to bed, on before midnight most nights, didn't we?
Most nights it was, I think literally, and I joked the other day to a friend, but I think some nights at 9:30 we were the last ones up on the ship, it seems.
That's true.
I don't know if that was typical for all Viking ones, so let us know below. Are some Viking ones party? But there was certainly, the nightlife is not the biggest thing on board. It's more chilled and relaxed. They do say it is the thinking man's cruise, not the drinking man's cruise.
Correct.
So, that is definitely the kind of mantra they go with. So if you're looking for up till 3 a.m, ucha partying,
it ain't happening.
Maybe choose Ayuka.
I mean, the service on there was impeccable. We have mentioned the service a few times, but for people to know your name, your preferences, they only have to ask you once, and they know. kind of know what you like. So every time I walked into the living room, it's like, Moscato, I was like, oh, you know me too
Mr.
well.
Justin, Mr. Tristan, they learn your names very
Yes,
fast. It's
yeah.
so impressive how they learn.
Yeah.
This staff must see people, and like there are staff that we knew from other cruises that have been on multiple Viking cruises, where they meet up with a crew member again on another cruise maybe 2 years later, and they still remember the name. I'm like, how these guys do this is so impressive.
Yeah.
And no, it's not like the medallion tech. They don't have it hidden behind them that they can go, oh, yeah. No, they really do just know your name and preferences. True. They are really, really good.
So a few final questions here, Tristan. So the first one, I mean, do you think it was too expensive?
I think it is certainly one of the more expensive cruises you can do. However, having said that, and we said this earlier, a lot of people would say NCL, very mainstream cruise. Our NCL cruise earlier this year on Viva, check out the review above, is actually came out just with the cruise, ignoring flights, and bearing in mind Viking include your flights. The NCL Viva cruise was actually more expensive by nearly £1,000 than this cruise, and that's then excluding that I then had to add on, actually the free at sea plus. To that we had the free at sea in that price,
and then there was upsell everywhere.
Upsell everywhere. There was also, you could end up with additional cost for speciality dining. The amount that Viking do include in that price is really impressive.
Yeah, and I'm going to maybe look at doing a video about the different types of cruises that we've done, the costs, and also compare it to Viking.
And I think some of the hidden costs, because I think that's the thing. Some cruises you think, oh, that's a bargain price, but actually everything is an extra. And
exactly.
And some of these, sometimes you can be paying well over £1,000 for a drink package just for a week.
The other question I wanted to answer was, do you think we were too young?
Well, we did ask this at the beginning, and I did fear that I might have been the youngest on the cruise. However, I was not. There were some very lucky 18-year-olds. It is important to note you have to be at least 18 to cruise on Viking. There are no children.
Kids.
It is an adult zone, although you could argue an 18-year-old is still a child. I think Josh might still be a child at 18. But yes, we are definitely not the youngest. And there was, although yes, the more common demographic is probably 65 plus, I would say.
Yeah. But it wasn't. But
it's not necessarily old before everyone jumps down our throats. We get that. But it's certainly on the older demographic side of things. But there were certainly as well, we were not the only young couple on board.
No, absolutely not.
There are younger couples. So
yeah.
If you're afraid of that,
don't be afraid, because I think it was a really nice mix. People got on because there was so many different sort of generations on there as well. Everyone tend to gel really well, didn't they? Okay, and the last question, the last one is basically, would you go on a Viking cruise again?
Well, yeah, because we booked to go again in the future. So we're actually going to do the other half of we did half of a 10-day cruise, effectively. It was originally Istanbul to Venice as the full cruise. Yep. We did Athens to Venice. We're going to go Athens to Istanbul. So we're going to reverse that side. The reason we're doing that is because actually then you get an overnight in Athens and an overnight in Istanbul at the end.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will be going back, and we're looking at other ones. So as soon as our bank balance allows again, I might be booking.
Oh no!
We found a few that we quite liked.
Has it ruined us for cruising? A little.
Certainly got us a taste of the finer things. So.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's a nice way to cruise.
Nice way to cruise. So we've got a lot of content coming out soon. So we've got a cabin tour out. We have got a vlog series coming out soon. Plus we've been on, I think we've got a backlog of content coming.
Yes, thank you. I've got a big backlog to edit still. I'm getting there. I have a day job. I'm sorry. It has to take precedence sometimes.
Damn. Has to pay for all of this, to be quite
honest. I need to pay for all these cruises, that's the thing. But yeah.
Yeah, so just a reminder, if you're enjoying our content, just make sure you subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and give us a like as well. So I think...
And also, big shout out and thank you to all of our Patreons.
Yes.
You really are great at supporting us, and we can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. So, that's it from us. So until next time, bye. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, like, comment, and share.